Love that Fats Domino, real.
All right.
One of the pioneers of American music, and I didn't even know that he stayed in New Orleans. In spite of the fact he sold 110 million records, he stayed in New Orleans and stayed in the same neighborhood in the same uh, hood, basically, that he had been in his entire life until Hurricane Katrina forced him to move to the suburbs.
Okay.
Yeah. So
now, I am curious about one thing, because I know particularly during the time period that he was in the music business, it was hard for singers to make money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, if you were the producer or the songwriter, yeah.
Yep, you were going to make money.
But if you were the singer, it was tough, and especially for black singers, to make money, because it seemed like there was a wolf around every corner trying to talk you into surrendering, your portion.
Oh, yeah.
So, how did he manage to avoid all the traps that a lot of other, artists fell into headlong?
I never heard nothing about drugs and alcohol with him. And you see, he was married to the same woman for 61 years until she passed away. So it wasn't like, and he outlived his wife, which is another thing that rarely ever happens.
That's unusual.
So this dude was just he must have lived a good life all around. Still to this day, you don't hear anything negative about Fats Domino. There's so many artists and people from that era that you hear, oh, he had drug problems, alcohol problems, gambling problems, babies all over the place. You don't hear anything about that. Not him. But a little bit closer to home here in Northwest Indiana, Rev, something that I think may not make a lot of people around here, their hearts burst with cheer, is NiSource, what we used to call NIPSCO.
Yeah.
Their profits have soared by 41%, Rev. So NIPSCO customers with natural gas bills often running, this is from the Northwest Indiana Times, let me just say this. NIPSCO customers with natural gas bills often running hundreds of dollars after a natural gas hike. NiSource, the parent company, made a profit of $749 million last year, or $1.70 a share. That's up 41% over the $529.8 million, or $1.27 a share that it made in 2021. The Maryville-based electric and natural gas utility reported that a non-GAAP net operating earning of $648.2 million, or $1.47 diluted earnings per share last year. That's up from $571.2 million, or $1.37 diluted earnings per share this previous year. NiSource is increasing its guidance for next year to $1.54 to $1.60 per share this year. The company said it expects to grow earnings per share by 6 to 8%. They say that delivering earnings above our 2022 guidance and raising our 2023 guidance range are a testament to our team's sustained and consistent execution of our strategy, which is basically railing us, the public. This is what their president said. NiSource president, CEO Lloyd Yates, our top tier and achievable growth plan unveiled at our 2022 Investor Day puts us on a path to drive compelling total shareholder returns of 9 to 11% annually. Already approved investments are the foundation of the plan that enhance the safety, reliability, and sustainability of our systems to support new and exciting customers. Now, they say that they are looking to invest $1 billion in new technologies that will change how it provides service, engages customers, and does work in the field. Now, NIPSCO just got a 10% natural gas bill hike that, coupled with high natural gas prices, hit customers with much higher bills than they were used to this winter. The utility filed another rate hike request with Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission in September that would increase revenue by almost $300 million. The higher bills will go towards they say will go towards grid modernization, renewable energy generation, and transmission projects.
Here's the problem.
Well, let me just finish this
go ahead.
last paragraph. NIPSCO is also close to wrapping up its Indiana Crossroads Solar and Dunes Bridge solar projects, both of which are expected to come online for the first half of this year. It's building out the Indiana Crossroads 2 wind project and just started work on the Dunes Bridge 2 and Calvary solar projects. Now go ahead, Rep.
NIPSCO is a utility.
Yep.
And so, generally speaking, that means they're the only place we can go.
Yep.
We don't have any. It's not like we can compare them and another company. Mm-hmm. If they're not the only game in town, they're the big dog, in the market. Mm-hmm. So I don't know about you. I know my gas bill doubled. Mm. But my income didn't double.
Oh no.
And they weren't the only thing that went up over the past few months.
Yep.
Inflation has been punching us every which way but loose.
Oh yeah.
But a utility is supposed to at least have enough government oversight that says, okay, while we understand and appreciate that you have shareholders to answer to, because we have given you a degree of leverage, basically, because you're the major player that people are going to go to. We have to stand in the gap for the consumers. We have to be the ones who keep you from just, having a field day.
Yep.
At the expense of our residents.
Yep.
Your customers, but our residents.
Yep.
And it just doesn't feel like that has happened.
I'm glad you said that, Rev, because we talked about this a few months ago.
Yeah.
The Indiana Regulatory Utility Commission has to approve the rate hikes that they have coming for us in September, and then again in March of next year. They're going to raise it again next March in 2024 and July in 2024. They are going to, now the public is able to reach out to the Indiana Regulatory Utility Commission. I am sorry for not giving this website more often, because I did it a few months ago and we talked about it in relation to the Ukraine war right before you came back. I think this is one of the last shows I did by myself. But the public, please, everybody listening right now, you can give feedback to the state on the proposed increase from NIPSCO. You can go to comment or complain at www.in.gov/IURC/. I know that's very complicated, so I'm gonna try to give it a few more times here. www.in.gov/IURC/. Make sure you go to the Indiana Regulatory Utility Commission to complain about what NIPSCO is doing. They are making record profits while at the same time raising everybody's gas prices to record levels. Okay, this is not a wealthy area that we live in. Northwest Indiana is not we're not Beverly Hills. We are not Manhattan. Okay, we are not Sugar Land in Texas. We are not Star Island in Miami. Okay, the people who live in this community are oftentimes people who are living on a fixed income. A lot of the elderly citizens that we have here, senior citizens that we have here, or young people who are working low-wage, low-skilled jobs, families who are oftentimes barely getting by, scraping by. Inflation in general has killed us. This is why one of the reasons that I think it's going to be very hard for Joe Biden to get reelected if he runs again and Trump is looking very strong all of a sudden, because you have Biden supporters talking about the economy's the best it's ever been, everybody. Meanwhile, everybody's paying out the wazoo for their heating, for their food, for everything has gone up, especially since this war has started. Thank God gas prices went down to a semi-normal level, back to around $3. I remember I took a picture of the gas when it was $5.60. I put $40 in there, and it barely put a dent in the car. And I don't even drive like some giant gas guzzler or anything. I don't even drive a van anymore. I drive a regular sedan, and it just $40 just poof, nothing.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, this is a time when we're going to have to stand up to people like the Indiana Regulatory Utility Commission, to NIPSCO, when they are making record profits. And all this stuff, they always say that we're investing in new technology. You ever notice they always use that as an excuse for why they got to raise prices on everybody?
Because we are fascinated with the new.
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah.
But okay, if you looked at that story from, $1.27 $1.27 a share, that's not a lot.
Right.
Well, people that are really, serious investors don't buy one share of anything.
Right.
They like it when stocks are like $1.27 a share because they can buy a bunch of shares.
Yep.
And it's sort of like the frog in the pot.
Mm-hmm.
You just turn up the temperature little by little. People adjust, they get used to it. When the gas was $2 a gallon, and then it went up to $2.50 a gallon, and you adjusted to it. When the grocery bill, where before you paid $60, to buy your groceries, and now you're paying $80, you adjusted to it, because after all, you gotta eat. After all, you gotta travel, so you need to put gas in the car. So what choice do you have?
Right.
Okay, we're getting into March, so, it'll start warming up eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But people will adjust. And if they're asking for the rate hike now, as we're getting towards spring, of course, the use of gas goes down. And so the cost goes up, and you don't notice it so much until December.
Yep. And then when it starts to get cold, or if we have a bunch of hot days in a row where you need air conditioner or something for people who have air conditioner, then you will start to notice things like that. Like I was just in the supermarket the other day, and I always bought my peanut butter that I like to buy for like $5. Like I get I like the natural peanut butter. $8. Now it's $8 for some peanut butter. Stuff like bacon, chicken. Like a lot of times I buy chicken. And sometimes I'm seeing chicken wings for $20, $21, $22 for a pack of chicken wings that used to cost me $9, $10. I mean, like, these are, you just go, what how do they expect this to happen? But again, a lot of this, like you said, is like the frog in the boiling water. They just gradually hit the accelerator on us, and just and we don't know we're about to get run over. We're going under the bus. We're going under the bus, and so it's imperative. So I'm going to give that website number. That website again. It is.
In fact, I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, good. Indiana Regulatory Utility Commission. www.in.gov/IURC. Let these people know. Again, they have a 16.5% electric rate hike that is going to hit you in September. In September, that is about 5 months from now. No, 4 months. 6 months from now. I'm sorry. I went to a Gary.
Is that an electrical?
Yep, the electric rates.
See, and think now again, the timing. When in the year do they ask for these things? It's starting to get cooler in September.
Yep.
You're going to be using your air conditioning less.
Yep.
They request that rate hike, and it slides right in. You don't notice it because you're not really using your AC it much.
September. And then, again, it's going to go up again in March of 2024 and July of 2024. This is, like I said, this is unacceptable. This is out and out unacceptable. So you're going to end up paying probably 25% more on electric rates by next July. Again, this is not the type of community that can sustain this. I don't know. You can't get blood from a stone, everybody.
Now, they're talking about getting involved in renewable energy. I'm kind of wondering, how will them getting involved, for example, in solar technology, how will that work to our benefit?
Well, see, here's the issue that I'm starting to have with solar, because this pandemic has made me question everything these people say. All these people who claim that they care so much about renewable energy, whether it's Bill Gates or whether it's all these Hollywood celebrities, they all running around in private jets. They're all running around in private jets, while at the same time lecturing us about, we need to get into, we need to start talking about renewable energy. Is your jet renewable? You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, the level of hypocrisy that is coming from the people, the elites in our society is just it's staggering.
Well, they don't have to fly Southwest.
No, they do not have to fly Southwest.
They got the green. They don't have to worry about being green.
Right.
And even when it comes to that, most of the stuff that is involved in green technology is expensive.
Yes, it is. And it's looking like another hustle.
Yeah, but they can afford it.
Yeah.
Your average Joe, he's going to need to drive that internal combustion engine for a little while longer.
Yep. And that's really how they're going to start getting us, because they're going to say, if you have a traditional gas engine or whatever, they're going to make you pay a whole bunch of money and charge you for hurting the environment. Meanwhile, they're going to all be flying around in private jets. So, like I said, the level of hypocrisy that we have gotten used to from our elites is ultimately unbelievable sometimes. Well, folks, we got to go to another break. When we come back, I guess this story probably isn't as consequential for all of our lives, but it is just it shows that racism and race as an issue, we're not completely done with it yet. Please stay with us here on WLTH 1370 AM. I'm Scott. Over there is Reverend Delwyn Campbell. We will be right back after these.
Listening to Cannon Rev on WLTH 1370 AM. Give us a call, 219-885-1371.